Good Monday morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is the 26th of May and this video is for educational purpose only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. It is purely to demonstrate how I try to read the market using technical analysis and how you can use it also. And we'll start with S&P 500 that closed above 5,783 support, dipped a little bit below to the 100 and 200 moving average. Let's see if it can bounce, and it probably can, because here pre-market we are up 1.2% after the tariffs on Europe from US has been set on pause, and we can see here that the US 500 CFD future dipped Friday to below the 100 and 200 moving average and touching the 21 moving average. And here this morning it's bouncing, so it's probably a relief to that. And what we can also see is that there's no divergence on the RSI, still positive sentiment, indicating we could see a push above this peak here at 5,973. So that could also likely spell out for the actual index. We have Nasdaq 100 that tested minor support here at 20,818 Friday, bounced a little bit, and here pre-market up 1.4% after dipping below the 38.2 retracement of this little leg up here. What I will do, I'll keep it for now just to see how things are playing out. But also here, RSI positive, no divergence, indicating we could see higher levels. The Dow Jones index dipped down to, in this gap area here, to touch 41,382 support, and then closed a little bit higher. Still positive sentiment, and also here pre-market we up about 1%. After almost touching the 55 moving average, still positive sentiment, no divergence on the RSI, indicating we could see higher levels on the Dow also. Let's see what's going on in the Asian session. Asian session is sliding lower, 1.3% as we speak on the Hang Seng. So no change, well, no positive news out there apparently. But we were ripe for a little bit of a correction, and that correction could take us down to 22,700 area in this region here. We have the 55 moving average giving a little support. There's support here, 22,638. The Nikkei index, on the other hand, has bounced this morning. Here we have the future bounced from the support at 36,570 and could bounce further. Positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, indicating a likely higher level, and at least up to test the previous peak here at 38,790. Europe closed lower Friday after being sold off massively, dipping below 5,285 support, down to just a few cents above the 55 and the 100 moving average, the latter coming up here giving some support. And we can also see it's more interesting to see what's going on pre-market actually, and we have bounced about 1.5%, 1.5%. You see it dipped the CFD slash future dipped to the 100 moving average and the 55 moving, and then bounced and closed above 5,313. And here this morning we are bouncing, at least indicating to open higher, and I think we will take out 5,500 here on EuroStoxx50. DAX also dipped below its support here at 23.38, just a few cents, a few euros, but closed strongly. And the pre-market we are also bounced fairly strongly, so we could continue towards 24,500. So what we can do, we could guesstimate it by using Fibonacci to this little one here and say, okay, maybe 24,500, 138.2 projection of this correction there. Euro dollar is at we speak pushing above 113.80, 85 resistance, and if it does keeps itself above and RSI closes above the 60 threshold, well then we could be in for a much further upside. towards to take out or at least test 115.75 peak here, but I think we'll see it at 117, 118 in the coming weeks. Sterling dollar pushing higher also, and I think we'll see it push up to at least 136.30, possibly up to around 137 here. Also in the coming days and weeks, we are in a bullish trend, positive sentiment on the RSI. There is a bit of divergence, but trust the trend for now until we see a top and reversal pattern. On Euro Sterling, while it's more or less dancing sideways, dipped a little bit below the lows here. And what I will do, I'll remove this one. So we are still in a bearish trend. Testing the touching the 200 moving average, could push lower. However, there's a bit divergence here. You can see these lows here are higher than these lows over here, but we have lower closing price there Friday. But we are under pressure and at least to get back above at least 84.65 to reverse this trend. But I think we will see it sliding lower in the coming weeks. On the yen crosses, we have dollar yen that kept sliding lower, pausing a little bit this morning, just around 142.35. Did be a little bit lower. If it breaks below 141.98, actually 142 here, 41.95, then I think we'll see it lower towards 140.25. Key support area. Key to watch is RSI. If it bounces off, for now it has bounced off, but if it does close below 40 threshold, then expect further selling pressure up towards 140 area. The euro yen, let's just center that one a little bit. There we are. Friday dipped below just a few cents below the 161.18 support in this region here. There's some support just below the 200 moving average. Still positive sentiment on the RSI. We also saw it bouncing back above this rising trend line here, and I think it could push higher here in the coming days and maybe try to get up towards the 165, but it will be a bit of a struggle, I believe. If it takes out Friday's low at what is it, at 161, then I think we'll see a sell-off down to around 160, 195, 159.50. Aussie yen has bounced off the cloud here and the 38.2 retracement just below 92, and is bouncing above this falling trend line there. RSI still positive, and I think we'll see it pushing higher towards the previous peak here. However, there will be a little bit of struggling with the 100 moving average coming down, but still I think we will see it bouncing higher. And what I will do, I will add this Fibonacci, sets of Fibonacci. We already bounced to the 38.2. I think we'll see a push up to 94 and a bit at the 61.8 retracement of this sell-off here fairly quickly. The sterling yen also bounced the dip below the 61.8 retracement a couple of times below the 200, but it's also bouncing now, and I think we'll see it pushing towards previous peaks there. What we can also do here, add Fibonacci just to give you some guidelines towards the 61.8 and 194.70, possibly up to the 195.45 in the first move. Aussie dollar broken its triangle out of a triangle-like pattern here, symmetrical triangle-like pattern, broken bullish out, testing at a peak here at 65.15. It seems like it will push higher, and I think we'll see it towards 66 and a bit, possibly 161.8 projection of this this triangle from top to bottom of this triangle. I think we'll see that we are now back in above the 60 threshold on the RSI. Has been in positive sentiment all along, so it has been in the cards to push higher. It was just a question about time, and I think we'll see it push higher towards the 66 level. The dollar Canada sold off heavily Friday. We talked about it, and that it was likely to play out that scenario, and it also took out the support here at 137.47, pushing lower and likely to dip to the 136, 40, 50 area. And what I will do now, I can remove this because they're totally obsolete now, and we are likely to push to this support here. Just very quickly looking at the weekly chart, we can see where we are. 136.5 in this region here is very likely to be tested. Also the lower rising trend line. The sterling Canada, excuse me, sterling Canada, a lot of volatility as usual, down there to almost test the lower rising trend line, and then it has bounced, and I think it will bounce further towards 188 and maybe a little bit more. Swiss francs, well, Friday, Euro Swiss dipped to touch and just spike a little bit below the 92, 97 lows here from earlier May, but bounced. I think if it takes out the lows from Friday, then we'll see a sell-off down to 92.5, 92.20. But for now, it's still holding on. But we can see here 55 moving average coming down. We have the 200 also giving it a pressure. We are still in a negative sentiment, and I think we could see another push to take out that lows there and see it a little bit lower. The dollar Swiss currently testing support and the 786 retracement here at just around 92. I think it will take it out. It has dipped a little bit below. But given that euro dollar seems to move higher, dollar Swiss is likely to push lower, and I think we'll see it down to around 81 at least, possibly testing these lows here. And where are they exactly? We will add a horizontal line so we can see that. There we are, around 80 spot 40. We are in a bearish scenario. If RSI closes back below 40 threshold, it will further confirm the negative sentiment on the RSI. The dollar index also testing support here at 98.68 and the 786 retracement, which is a few cents lower. And currently RSI is back below 40 threshold. If this stays until the end of the day, which I believe it will, then we could see the lows here at 97.68 being tested and possibly lower. Let's look at the weekly. We can see, well, then there could be a potential down to 97.40, 97 area here. Moving on to gold, that has bounced Friday to the 786 retracement at 3,367, and then this morning setting back a little bit. RSI rejected a 60 threshold, so that would be key to watch here the next couple of days. Will it take out the peak of Friday and the 786 retracement, and will RSI close back above 60 threshold? I think that scenario will play out, but I need confirmation, and it hasn't occurred yet. But if it does, then I think we'll see a push towards previous all-time highs around 3,500. Silver, still below resistance here at 33.70. That is something to watch. Might push higher, but for now it is struggling to do so. RSI is still negative sentiment, hasn't broken back above 60 threshold, so it is stalling a little bit. We have platinum that pushed higher towards the end of the week last week, and now setting back a little bit after touching and spiking a little bit above 1100. There is room up to 1130 at least. We can see RSI on daily a little bit of extreme here at just around just above 75, so setting back a little bit, but I think it will push up to 1130. Copper, on the other hand, compared to silver at least, well, it had a strong move Friday. It closed above 481 resistance. Interesting thing though is that RSI didn't close above 60 threshold, but we are above the cloud. 100 moving average moving higher, and the 200 also. The 55 slightly rising. We could see a push to the 500, the 496, 500 level here in the coming days, but expect a little bit of setbacks to maybe test 480 again before the next move. On the energy side, we have the WTI crude oil once again testing the support here at 60 spot 47. It's not strong, but it seems to keep holding on. I think if it takes out the lows from Friday at $60, then we'll see selling pressure increase down to 57.5, possibly lower. However, if it moves back above 64.87, well, then we still have this double bottom scenario looming here that could be confirmed on the Brent crude oil. Also touching the minor support there, 63.44, and bounced, and could test the 66.81 minor resistance there and a 55 moving average. So that's the range to begin with. It needs to break out of. If it breaks out bullish, well, then a 68.68. If it closes above that, well, then we also have a double bottom scenario there. The EU nat gas, a lot of volatility the past week. Still RSI in a negative sentiment, so it really needs to get back above 60 threshold, and nat gas needs to move back above the peak up there 21st of May. If it does close above, well, then I think we could see a push up to around 40 euros. US nat gas, excuse me, US nat gas, there we are. Bounced from the 200 moving average and could bounce further, but still I think it will be caught range bound between here 350, 355 and down to around $3 in this range here. We can see there's still negative sentiment on the RSI. The 100 and the 55 moving average pushing lower, but the 200 higher, so it could be boxed in this area here for quite some time. On the yield side, well, we have the US 10-year Treasury yield that sat back a bit towards the end of last week. Now it's trying to get back above 4.55. I think it will succeed, but let's see. For now, we have the 55 moving average coming up, 21, also 100 that is down here as a floor. I think we could test the 465, and if we are looking at the weekly chart, we can see we are in a bullish trend. There's higher high there, higher low, and higher high. So for now we're in a bullish trend, but still negative sentiment because RSI did close below 40 threshold here back in earlier this quarter towards the end of last quarter. So still a little bit of a struggle going on to the upside, which we are happy about because we don't like higher interest rate. The 403 still a struggle, and the 100 moving average and the 200 also kind of having putting a lid on the upside here for the 2-year at the moment. On the European yields, we have the EU 10-year that dipped Friday down to, was it Friday? It was Friday, I think, Thursday or Friday. It dipped down to the 254, the 61.8 retracement there, and bounced. And if it takes out the lows there from last week, then I think we'll see it push down to 250, possibly all the way down to 244. And the upside here is 271. That's the resistance. So that's the range that needs to break out of. The UK, that spiked above the 480, has been hammered back, which is good for UK. And if it, I will actually draw a trend line right there. If it takes out that little support there at 460, then I think we'll see it down to in the region around 450, 445. Finally, Bitcoin. Slowly tracking higher here again towards the all-time high at 112,000. If it takes it out, well, then we are looking at levels in the region of 114 and 116, and there's still a positive sentiment and bullish trend. So I think that scenario will play out. Ethereum struggling a little bit, failed to take out the peak here at 27.39. If it does, well, then I think we're looking at 3,000, 3,100. To the downside, it is this low here at 2,320. That should be observed, and if it takes it out to the downside, well, then we're looking at 2,100. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day, and talk to you again later.